the economic development of countries. Consequently, the major aim of every economic policy is to guarantee citizens and companies the access to the energy. The guarantee of this energy availability is called energy security for the importing countries. On the other hand, for the oil producing country, energy industry represents most part of revenue, the state's revenues. So these countries need to maintain a constant outflow of export with a regular flow of money, of course, and in order to have economic and political stability. One way to define the energy security is by delineating different types of risks, of course, and often including long-term aspect. A common approach is the 4A's energy security approach. 4A's, it means availability, accessibility, affordability, and acceptability, which include concerns related to long-term depletion of fossil fuels and environmental aspect of energy security. Among these, the availability and affordability are the most important aspects that remain at the center of the concept expressed by International Energy Agency. This approach has 4 dimensions of energy security, and these dimensions are geopolitical dimension, that means energy import, particularly from unstable regions. There is an economic aspect, that means high energy intensity and trade imbalances, and reliability, that means adequacy and reliability of infrastructure. Then there is the environmental aspect that, as we said before, related to the carbon intensity of energy system. Then energy security is threatened by several risk factors, and that regarding the reliability of resources and economic risks. With technical risks, I refer about what could happen in all the way from the production place to that of consumption, and could be a risk of sinking of the oil tanker, like a technical, for example, about technical risks, or criminal attacks, for example, terroristic attacks, or worst of all, there is disruption of energy flow caused by policymakers. For example, we can say about Russian-Ukrainian crisis. The economic risks are related to price affordability, and by definition, the tightness of supply and demand result in 2 consequences. One for the short term and the other one for the long term. In the short term, the consumers' demand don't change at variation of prices, while in the long term, their reaction deeply modifies energy demand, improving energy efficiency and by diversifying energy resources. National energy policies depend on these risk factors, of course, especially on the 2 different time frames. In the short term, it's important to define the proper technical standard, for example, the storage, and in order to avoid external disruption of energy supply. In the long term, policymakers play a direct role in promoting investment in production, like transport, and why? Because they want to meet the energy demand. In the last decade, the social and economic changes have followed an unprecedented speed. According to the annual report of United Nations, in 2015, the world population was 7.3 billion people, while in 2030 it will reach 8.5 billion, and taking into account that in 1990 the world population amounted to only 5.3 billion. The increase of prosperity in more and more countries is the basis for the increase of energy demand. Then we can explain something about the shift in energy demand to Asia. Emerging economies will be the main architect of the increase in energy demand due to their growing need for energy availability in order to guarantee the industrialization process. In the last decade, we have seen a gradual shift of production activities to the Asian continent and to disadvantage of Western economies. And in the last decade, this justified, of course, the contraction of the European energy demand, while it is the opposite for the Asian one. And as we can see in the graphics, the red line is Asia and is plus 3.9% from 2005 to 2015, and for European Union the energy consumption is less for 0.7%. And now the situation is that European decline is proved by 15% reduction in oil and gas consumption between 2004 and 2013. There is an American withdrawal because from the global market, energy market, America doesn't need the global energy market because they use unconventional fuels. And because of that, North America became completely independent in energy supplies. What about the Asian hope? Verda, an important scholar that is writing for Ecepaa, refers in particular to China and India, that is expected to count on an increase in the consumption, especially of oil and gas, because, as we said, for industrial production and for population growth. This is the energy consumption by the region in 2016, and as we can see, Asia is the red part, is the bigger consumer, and the second place is for Europe with 21%, more or less the same is for North America. Then, what about the future? The several factors are going to define the situation for the next 2 decades. Energy demand is expected to increase by 30% within 2040, and this because of domestic crude consumption in West Asia, including Middle East, and has been skyrocketing because of the increase, as we said, in population, the increase in population, because of the great urbanization and because of the industrial development. And Saudi Arabia and Arab Emirates keep on raising their energy consumption, so they and the other Asian producers will export less, and less, of course, about crude about crude oil and gas. Due to this, the Middle East surplus won't cover the increase of the increase in the Asian demand deficit. So the Asian countries will have to seek for sources in the other countries, for example, Africa or Russia. That's our explanation about the shift in energy demand to Asia and the energy security. Thank you. Bye bye.